She said African Americans community, not Black American community. Two different communities. Is it crack? Like, what is it? You trying to play with me? You trying to play in my face right now? First of all, Black Americans were coined African American. It was popularized in 1988. Popularized in 1988 by Jesse Jackson. We've been renamed and reclassified in this country a few times. Sometimes even without our consent. We know exactly who she was talking about when she said African American. She was talking about Black Americans that were here before the inception of this country. If she mentioned can't be deported, who she talking about? If you're an African, you can be deported. I'm not an African. I am a United States of America citizen. So what group of Black people can't be deported? Caribbeans could be deported back to their countries. Black Brits could be deported. Africans could be deported to their countries back over on the continent. Let's not play stupid. Like, don't be dense. Like, y'all are really trying it. This is why we have to stop calling ourselves African American. Because now all of a sudden y'all really trying to destiny swap and co-opt our lived experience. She also said people that have experience with civil rights movements. Who did that? Black Americans. And that's why you're able to migrate over here right now and walk around freely, because of Black Americans. The ones that were born here, the ones who have a long lineage here. Not first gen, not second gen, not even third gen. I'm talking about the ones that were here before this country was established. Stop fucking playing with me. Get out my comments. Y'all getting on my nerves. We gotta spread love is the Brooklyn way. Like, who? The African American community and the Black American community are two different. Shut up.
As a white person, as a Black person, as anyone, how?
So I was going to put this as a comment, but you already have thousands of comments on there, and I didn't think you would probably see it. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and stitch this for other people who have the same thought process as you. It's not that Black people don't see this as a problem. We know it's a problem. We know it's an issue. We're just tired. We told you. We told you, and not you as specifically you, we told you as the country what is going to happen. We knew this was going to happen, and people still voted him into office. You don't need to talk to Black people and ask Black people where we are and why we aren't doing anything and why we aren't standing up. Because Black people have always been standing up. Black women have always been standing up. We're the ones that show up and show out every single time. We're the ones that when people go out to a party, that was the latest conversation. When people go to a party, they don't feel comfortable with a group of people around unless they see Black people there, Black women around. They tell their children, if you're in trouble, to go find a big Black man because they know that person's going to help and take care of them. We know. We are tired of carrying everyone on our backs. That is what's going on. We are not standing up in the streets and protesting this because why? You say in that video, what if your family members were one day gone and you couldn't do anything about it? It happens to us on a daily basis. On a daily basis, our family members are getting slaughtered by police for nothing. Because of a Black man getting killed by police, the largest Black Lives Matter movement in history around the world occurred because of Black people. This is happening because of your people. Your people voted for him. Look at those numbers for who showed up and voted for Trump. Hispanics for Trump, Latinas for Trump. Those are the people who voted for him. We did our part. That is why you aren't seeing us in the street. It's not that we don't lack empathy or compassion. It's that we are tired. We have been there, done that. You also talk about how you are being hunted down and treated like animals. Let's not forget the pan-Atlantic slave trade that happened with Black people. And once we were released from slavery, we were then used as experimentation for medical advancements. We were treated like treated inhumane. We were treated like animals. That is why We are tired. And the generation of the people we have right now, like me talking, is because we are not our ancestors. We are not going to be repeating the exact same things that happened to us and allowing for you all to sit here and run us over. You guys did not do what you had to do to show up and show out and vote. I don't care. I don't know who you voted for. I don't care who you voted for. It's the Hispanic community as a whole. That's who you need to be talking to. You don't need to come over here and bring black people into it, and why aren't black people, and how could you not feel this way if you were white or black? Have empathy. Black people have empathy. We know, but we've been there and we're done that and we're tired. And so that's where we stand on this. And then on your first video, your part 1 video, you also said, you just want to go back to how things were. You just wanted to go back to when there was peace. If you think that there was ever peace, that shows a privilege that you have. That is a privilege that you had as not being black in America, because there was never peace for us. Never. We could never walk into any workspace and feel 100% comfortable. We could never just walk outside our houses and feel 100% comfortable. We don't know what's going on. I'm 34 years old. As a child, I'm taught, if you get pulled over by if you see police trying to pull you over, don't just pull off to the side of the road. Pull into a parking lot, a gas station where it's well lit, because you don't know who's going to pull you over. You don't know what that police officer is going to do to you. You don't know what that person at work is going to do to you. That is what we deal with on a daily basis. So no, we have empathy. We understand, but we're not going to go parade in the street anymore, because that is somebody else's turn. And I hope that you hear what I'm saying and you take that in, and you go and you talk to your people. You talk to other people about it. You guys go out in the street and you protest to get him impeached and to turn all of these things over that are happening with ICE, because that's not our job anymore. We are done. We are tired. I hope and I wish you well, but it's not our job.
DI does not mean black people. And immigration does not mean for Latinos who are illegal. There are so many white immigrants in this country. So stop that narrative. There are so many people who benefit from DI who are not black. 70% of white people, by the way, benefit from DI. Black people only benefit at 3%. So change the narrative that you're being fed and critically think. DI does not mean black people. And immigration does not mean Latino. Okay? Fix and ask yourself why you're even thinking that, why that's being connected. Just ask.
The minute that you not stop, you know what I'm saying, negotiating and giving in to the mob rules and stop trying to make people feel good about what y'all got going on, is the minute that you're going to have some more success. And so I'm glad that people are starting to speak up. I'm glad that people are starting to say, nah, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of liberal mindset. It's and all of that, whatever. But I'm glad that people are starting to stand up for themselves and say, listen, I don't know you. You can't lecture me. You can't tell me on an individual basis what I'm supposed to do, and that I can't smile and I got to wear my hair a certain way and all of this. You don't have no dominion over here. You don't have no power to determine who can and can't do something. And so fuck you. Long story short, I'm not trying to hear what you're saying. I don't have to accommodate you. I don't have to try to make you feel better about what your lot in life is, or, a lot of y'all have made bad decisions in your life individually, and now you want to blame somebody else for your circumstance, and I'm not it. And so I think that everybody needs to stand up for themselves, and everybody needs to shame other people for running in the Victim Olympics and stop trying to be everybody's friend. You don't have to be everybody's friend. Everybody don't like you, and they're not going to fuck with you even if you start to adjust. If you went all the way pale white and then moved into West Montana somewhere and started living with your own people and only created content, it's still not going to be enough. It's never going to be enough. All right. So you got to find your tribe, rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, and hold it down and stand 10 toes down. Stand 10 toes down. That's what I say. Anyways, I always like to give credit with to the content creators where credit is due. So that link will be down in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Do you think that white women in particular have been too accommodating to a group of people that don't even necessarily care for them? Let me know what you think inside of the. Oh, and let me add this one before we get out of here. Don't say you talking to a black man. Don't say you talking to a black man. Oh my God. I have never seen somebody get lectured more than if they were to admit that they were in a relationship with a black man. Or, let me give you another one. Or if you have money and resources. God forbid that you actually took care of yourself and you ran it up. You got it because the system is against them. And it had to take from the poor and give it to the rich. It's stupid. It's so dumb. But again, I want to know what y'all think inside of the comments. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Don't be an apologist. Stop trying to apologize if you didn't even do anything wrong. If you did do something wrong, then make amends, but don't apologize just because you're a certain color. Because I wouldn't tell black people to do that either. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.
Brother, you are absolutely right. And I'll back you up on what you're saying. Black people did not come here willingly looking for a better life like Latinos are today. And I'll add to it, black people were forced here. And guess what? We were forced also, just like so-called black people. We were forced in the land where we were living, where we had an inheritance, meaning our people descended and lived on this land. And guess what? When the Europeans came, they enslaved us, put us in ships and sent us to Europe, send us to England, send us to Spain, send us to islands in Barbados, etc., to work plantations, just like they did to our black brothers when they brought them here after they enslaved us. You see, that's what the world doesn't want you to know. That you don't know much about the enslavement of natives. It was just like the enslavement of so-called black people. Suffered the same thing. But they don't talk about it. They don't put it in movies. They don't write books on it. They don't want us to see that we are brothers, that we have suffered under the same oppressor. Because if we start to see that and connect the dots, we're going to come back to this Bible stronger than ever before, and with a force, with the strength of the Most High God through the Holy Spirit, in waking up to our identity and actually serving our God. And they think that they can stop this prophecy. It's prophesied that we will wake up and come back to our identity. See, the oppressor thinks he can stop God. He thinks if he stops the prophecies from being fulfilled in the Bible, then Christ won't return. Because Christ is not, we're not waiting for Christ. Christ is waiting on us to wake up. And the oppressor's trying to stop that. You understand? But what he doesn't know is he is lying to himself. He's deceiving himself. He thinks, I've done all these evil things to God's people. If the Most High hasn't returned, then there is no God. Then we just gonna keep going. But once again, the Bible never fails. Christ will return. And it's time for us as black, Latinos, and natives to see the truth that we are brothers, that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, and love one another, and come back and serve our God together. Get in the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana to get started. Shalom.
Respectfully, I have a question for the black community. Videos are getting on my nerves. You guys have a lot of smoke for black people. I don't know. Y'all think of us as almost like the Avengers for civil rights, but for nothing else. And you didn't acknowledge us when we told y'all asses to remind you they had y'all in your kids in cages last time. I never thought y'all was this stupid. And I never thought y'all were this racist within the Latino community, that you would ignore the citizens that got the rights for you to be here and ignore them. But Latinos for Trump proved us wrong. And I just feel like it's so funny. Y'all feel safe enough to call out us, but you ain't saying nothing to MAGA, and you're not saying anything to the Asian community. I don't hear no. I've not seen one video directed towards the Asian community to come together. They're minorities. Y'all forgot about them. Black people supposedly only make up 13% of this country year after year, which is, I don't believe it, but I think for the Latinos, and I have Latino people that I care deeply for, but if I did not know you before November 5th, I don't need to know you now. And I think that's what y'all don't understand. We don't need to come together with you. We tried to come together with you. We didn't vote for Kamala because she was black. We voted for her because she was for democracy. At the most basic tenets. She wasn't going to rile you up and go to your children's graduations and break your car windows to drag you in front of your families out of this country. I mean, people like to talk about Obama deported more people than Trump can barely get. But we didn't see any of this, and social media existed. No one was saying they were being targeted or harmed in this way. No one said they weren't able to go to court. No one said they were getting shipped on planes to places they're not even from, sentenced to life imprisonment. Y'all risked y'all livelihood. And the people who are trying to come after us saying, what you think gonna happen once he done with us? We're citizens. Now, whatever they choose to do with that is what they choose to do. But we're citizens. Me and mine. We been here. We built the country. We built the White House. So, I mean, we got what we got too. We gonna have to fight like we gotta fight. But we not fighting for you. Where were y'all during George Floyd and all of the protests that we had? I ain't seen none of y'all on the front lines. I'm not saying nobody showed up. I'm saying you didn't lead the protest. Stop calling our name. Stop calling our number. Your phone call should have been on November 4th to be there on November 5th. And if you can't call all y'all family members who voted for this, all y'all cousins, all y'all folks, because I didn't realize y'all had so much internalized hate in the immigrant community. I didn't know that was a thing, that people would be like, I got here the right way, and if you came here not the right way, I'm okay with you getting locked up. Black people don't do that shit. Because I think the difference is we don't have no breakdown of Mexico, from Cuba, from Brazil, and if you take outside of the black community, you have other, different communities that are immigrants. This is an immigrant problem. We're not immigrants. And I think that's what y'all forgot. Black people are not immigrants. We're citizens. So why y'all keep trying to come together with us? We really ain't your market. You really need to be coming together with other groups of immigrants. Because that's the problem. Immigration is the issue. We didn't mind you being here. We didn't mind you having the respect that you deserve. We didn't mind democracy working so that you could have a path here, because truly, I think the issue is that ultimately we don't owe you guys anything. And we still tried, and we didn't owe you. And you felt like you owed us nothing. And I do genuinely feel bad, because we're suffering too, guys. Like, they're removing our history. Like, we didn't build this whole nation. They're removing protections for our people, for our children's. They're removing support for education, for college degrees. We're not being unscathed, but we're citizens, and we can't help you with that, because we told you to not entrust yourselves to somebody that locked your kids up in cages the last time and banned your homelands. And I don't think it's fair. I don't agree with it. I think the U.S. has done a lot to damage other nations, and for them to have this attitude that they can reject the people that are suffering as a result of their actions, I think is vile. I don't think it's okay. I think it's vile that the way that they're treating people and the way that they are going about this is cruel and inhumane. And I don't think, ultimately, we're on a floating rock. I don't really think these arbitrary lines should mean people have to suffer in nations far from here, right? Just because, I ain't gonna even say we lucked up. People were more cruel and violent to people who were more open when they got here. Because technically California is Mexico. We know it. I'm not disillusioned to the truth, right? But I'm not going out on nobody's front lines to fight for you when 50% of your population didn't see y'all as a group. So why the hell you think we gonna see you as a part of our team? We don't. Call Latinos for Trump. Call MAGA. Call out the Asian community and all the other communities that are immigrants. But black people aren't immigrants. So we don't need to stand with you about immigration. You couldn't stand with us about democracy. Get out of here. I don't understand. Good luck. And I do genuinely mean that. I don't want y'all to suffer. I don't believe you should be harmed. I don't think it's fair. I think it's wrong. But I don't owe you my sweat, blood, and tears and sacrifice or my children's, because you could not go in the voting booth and collectively do something very simple.
What is going on with Africans between African Americans?
None of your business. In other words, black folk business is black folk business. To make it simpler, don't worry about the drama happening in a certain community that you're not a part of. We as black people, especially Afro-Americans, have been addressing the diaspora wars happening within our community, and that's for us to mitigate. And even if you're just genuinely curious, you asking that question is lighting a fire that we're already trying to extinguish. There are white people in the United Kingdom who don't care for white people in the United States. Inquire about that. There are people in France that don't like the way people in Canada speak French. Inquire about that. Across the world in different diasporas, there are many differences that groups have that stem from misunderstandings, but that's for those groups to figure out. And contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of Africans that don't have a problem with African Americans and vice versa, so don't generalize. And that's coming from an African American who's actually been to Africa, hence the shirt. So if it's not your community, don't worry about it.
And nigga, why y'all keep saying we next? Like, nigga, where we going? Y'all do know we not immigrants, right? Like, I thought everybody knew we was imported like spices, nigga. We didn't choose this shit. Y'all niggas need to get smacked with a textbook. What the fuck was y'all doing in history humping a book? Nigga, we don't even go by generations no more. We just in this bitch. Like, nigga, we have birth certificates. Dang, I be thinking like, where the fuck are y'all black friends? Nigga, this how y'all don't really fuck with us. Cause nigga, all this shit takes is one conversation. And I heard y'all voted to get us out of here. Nigga, we ain't going nowhere. Like, nigga, the only place I'm going is in the house. Like, oh, niggas love watching us, but they don't like listening to us. We been talking about this shit. Gang, it's the year 2025. I'm not explaining to you to why I'm not an immigrant. If you don't give a fuck to know, I don't give a fuck to tell you.
Black people getting on TikTok or any other app right now, speaking about, well, I don't understand why they can't just go the legal route. Well, I don't understand why they should be allowed to do illegal things. Well, I don't understand. Shut up. Shut up. And it kills me that the primary people I see when you search up immigration and the topics of it, like the primary people I see speaking out against immigrants and speaking on like what's going on in such a negative way, agreeing with the way things are happening, are primarily black men. How many of y'all vote for that man? Oh, not surprised. Not surprised. Here's the thing. Everybody I see, every black person that's speaking on the topic is saying like, I don't understand why immigrants can just do what they want to do. I don't understand. Why can't they just go the legal route? You obviously don't watch the news. It shows. You obviously don't read court proceedings. You obviously don't listen to congressional hearings on why the legal route isn't working. People are trying to go the legal route. They show up to go to their immigration hearings and they're getting arrested before they step their foot in the door. Not because they actually had a hearing. Not because they actually had due process and were found to be a criminal or a drug user. People who are selling flowers on the road are getting arrested, who were trying to go the legal route. Have you not realized that the current administration has been using the legal route as entrapment? The only people that have been able to gain citizenship within the last year or so, who came from the previous administration. Come on now. And before we sit here and debate going the legal route, may I remind you that at one point, slavery and Jim Crow was legal in this country. What is legal is not always moral. So chop it out of your sentence. You were brought here through the legal route. Oh, but we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. And at one point, the legal route was beating your behind to drag you here. Now, the people that are trying to stay here, that are opting to stay here, may have came the illegal route, but are trying to gain citizenship. And at the same time, still being entrapped and then thrown in institutions because they tried to go the legal route. On top of that, you have people that were here for school under the DREAM Act, etc., whatever it may be, that were here for school from overseas, that were only given citizenship status temporarily in order to attend school, where they can later, if finding a job, apply for permanent citizenship. What's happening there? Though they went the legal route, now their citizenship, their temporary status as students is being pulled. Is being pulled. If your status for temporary citizenship is being pulled while you're still in school, you by default, you become illegal as well. So how do we go the legal route now? You tell me, how do we go the legal route now? Yeah, shut up. It also blows my mind that people are coming on this app and saying like, well, black people, you should not be helping protest the issues going on or speaking out against it. And I get it. With the previous election, when it comes to like how we showed up, especially black women, I'm really only speaking on black women. I get it. Do we get out in the fields? Do we go help? Because I get it. You may be question mark over your head. But when it comes to actually speaking out about what's happening in these ICE raids and the things happening in our dead faces and speaking out, who are you to tell somebody not to speak out on the issue regarding how people are getting beat in the street, dragged from their home, people who are little children being pulled out of school, children that can't vote, immigrants that can't vote, People that did not vote that man in office because they literally cannot vote. Who are you to tell us not to? You're blaming immigrants and children of immigrants for the actions of those who were of Hispanic and Latino heritage that were citizens and could vote. You're blaming immigrants and their existence on how someone else voted. This is one of those, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything in all situations. I'm not going to sit here and debate facts with anybody in the comments. Facts are facts. I only get paid to debate opinions on the facts. I don't debate actual facts. And the facts are the facts, and I've already stated them, period, point blank. You cannot debate what is humane and what is not. Sitting on a horse and beating people like we are Jim Crow 2.0, going across the Edmund Pettus Bridge on Bloody Sunday, beating people in the year of 2025 with a baton that are marching without weapons, that are not blocking anything, they're not doing anything, beating people, not giving your badge when you're a law enforcement, when you are a federal agent, not giving your name and badge and appearing in streets in an unmarked vehicle, just dragging and snatching people like it's kidnapped off the street. What? That's not humane. Taking little children out of their elementary schools in the middle of the day, and teachers now having to be a primary line of defense because if the children are snatched up, their parents can't find them because I think you think families are getting snatched up together. No, they're not. They're getting snatched up individually. Imagine your 5-year-old child is snatched off the street. You have to go look for that child because you're not going to leave your baby. One of y'all, or if two of y'all having no immigration status, then you show up looking for your child, you're arrested, you're deported, and you still can't find your child because you were placed in 2 different areas. Your child shows up in I don't know, maybe Mexico or wherever. They show up by themselves. You think they're reuniting families over there? Oh, they're not. Shut up. It's not your job. You're not helping. Just shut up if you don't agree.
People know Black Americans is not no fucking immigrants. They just be having something to say. They know we are not immigrants. But that do kind of, bring a point up when they be talking about, oh, you guys don't know where you're from. You guys don't know where you're from. We always say we from America. Been from America for the last 400, 500, 600,000 years. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, huh? How is that possible? Because we are Americans. Like you guys are Nigerian and Ethiopian and Jamaican and South American and Brazilian and Colombia and all of these different things, Cuban and all of them. We are American. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where we from. So I kind of understood where people was coming from when they was like, but you guys know where you're from. No, you guys didn't know where we was from. We knew where we was from. We know where we from. All right? So that's what it is.
So wait, people really thought that African Americans were immigrants? Yeah, I know y'all lying. Don't immigrants go like on their own if they go to a particular country on their own accord, because they may be trying to get away from whatever. We ain't come here because we wanted to be here. We still don't want to be here. Hell, we hoping that they maybe put us out and send us somewhere. Well, what do y'all mean y'all thought we were immigrants? Immigrants? What? Y'all know the story of how we got here? Do that make sense? Like, this world is so disillusioned about African Americans. We're descendants of Africa, but we've been here for hundreds of years. We're not first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation. Like, we've been here. We built this country. The foundation of this country is built by African Americans. We didn't come here because we want to be here. Like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all thought we were immigrants. Immigrants? Who? Where? Immigrants? I got papers to prove I ain't no immigrant. Like, some of the stuff that I hear on social media is correct. Like, for real, y'all thought we were immigrants. Come on now. Stop playing. We don't want to be here now. Get us out of here.
It all started with this black woman speaking the truth, and suddenly TikTok turned into a war zone. Turns out if you're a black American who won't blindly frontline for illegal immigration, you are considered the enemy. This time, these women clap back. And this got people asking a couple of questions. Why is every crisis somehow our responsibility? Why are we expected to down every hill except our own? Let's check this out.
You hate the truth. I see. As far as illegal, you're illegal. The colonizers brought your ancestors here in boats. Don't think that just because you were born here that means you're native. Grow up and say something. First of all, I'm not illegal. I'm not illegal. And you are big butt hurt mad that I'm not illegal. You don't know me, bitch. And I'm calling you a bitch because you got me fucked up. You keep posting me and atting me with the same funky ass videos from different angles showing a few black people out there. The majority, the collective of people that's rioting and looting are Latinos. Point blank, period. This is not to say that there are not some black people out there. The collective of us are at home drinking our goddamn coffee and tea, minding our business, going to work and doing something productive. At the end of the day, I am not illegal. And you are fucking mad that I am not an immigrant. Black Americans, foundational black Americans that were born in America with American grandparents, American great-grandparents, and so on and so forth, we are not illegal immigrants. We've been here since the inception of this country. We are written into the Constitution. Do some fucking research. Stop worrying about black people and what the fuck we got going on. You got bigger fish to fry. Enough is enough. The anti-blackness just reeks and jumps out. You want to call me an immigrant because you're talking about some straight out of Africa theory, which is a theory. A lot of black people were already here before the so-called transatlantic slave trade. Read a fucking book and leave me alone. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. Y'all act like this is a human rights issue. Well, you got to keep saying that this is not a human rights issue. This is not a civil rights issue. This is about legalization of people that want to migrate into this country. I cannot go to Mexico and just stay there and get benefits and get a job and be a part of the economy without citizenship. I can't go to Japan and do that. I cannot go to Switzerland and do that. I cannot go to China and do that. I cannot go to Canada and do that. You have to be legal. Now, could there be more humane ways to do things? Absolutely. However, this is not a civil unrest, what do y'all want black people to do? What do you want me to do? What could I say? Come in the country the legal way. Is that what you want me to say? Because that's going to sound insensitive, even though that's the truth. Get your paperwork. Get your documents in order. That's the only thing I could do. What the fuck? What do you want? You want to use me as a scapegoat, which is what y'all are doing. That's why you keep saying black people are out there looting and rioting. And you want me to potentially get unalive. The sheriff in Florida said that he's literally, they killing people. I'm not going to suggest that people, that myself or people that look like me risk their lives.
Let's get something clear. Stop comparing yourselves to black Americans every time you go through something. And don't ever compare an ICE raid to the civil rights movement again. Let's kill the disrespect at the root. Because every time someone gets told no, gets detained, or faces a setback, here come the lazy metaphors. This is just like the black experience. We're going through what y'all went through. This is our civil rights moment. No, it's not. And we're done playing polite while y'all play dress up in our pain. You're not us, and you never will be us. You crossed the border. We were brought in chains. You wanted in. We were never meant to exist. You chase opportunity. We survived deliberate erasure. You want a better life. We fought for the right to live. That's not overlap. That's invasion. Invasion of a narrative, legacy, and spiritual space. ICE isn't equivalent to Jim Crow. ICE is a system enforcing entry law. Jim Crow was a system enforcing black extermination under the U.S. flag. ICE sends people back to where they came from. Jim Crow told us you don't belong anywhere, not even in your own skin. Rosa Parks didn't break a border. She broke a lie. That quiet black obedience was permanent. MLK didn't beg for inclusion. He dragged America's lies into the light and made it flinch. Y'all comparing your citation to our crucifixion. Sit that bullshit down. You're not channeling us, you're robbing us. Let's call this what it is. Legacy theft, historical cosplay, trauma fraud. You want the aesthetics of black pain without the depth. You want the moral high ground, but not the burial ground beneath it. You don't want to build your own foundation. You want to stand on our graves and hope nobody notices. But we see you, and now we're calling it out. We're not the same, and we don't need to be. We're black American men, The bloodline that built this nation without consent, compensation, or allies. We're the great-grandsons of men who were whipped for reading. The sons of men who fought wars and came home to segregation. The living proof that God still resurrects what America tried to bury. You don't inherit that. You don't compare to that. And you can't copy that. You can't. And the line is carved in stone now. You want to fight for your people? Do that. You want justice for your community? Push for it. You want recognition? Earn it. But do it without hijacking our history, quoting our martyrs, remixing our movements, or parading in our suffering like it's a costume. Because now that door is closed, that bridge is burned, and that line is guarded from here on out. No more passes, no more parallels. Your struggle isn't fake, but when you wrap it in our legacy, you make it fraudulent. Our trauma is not your symbol. Our ancestors are not your mask, and our pain is not your fucking platform. We don't need to be included in everybody's movement. We don't need our story retold through someone else's accent. And we damn sure don't need to be used so somebody else can get sympathy on sale. Respect the difference or get spiritually evicted. We're done playing polite while people pawn our pain for clout. That stops immediately, or we will continue to check you for it. You're not us, and you never will be.
Now, which one of y'all is running around here saying that Black Americans are immigrants? Granted, there are some Black people that are immigrants, but they align themselves with the nationality that they came from. However, for most of my lineage, we were here in America since before 1776. That whole birthright citizenship was about us. Like, are y'all not listening in history class? Oh, wait, I forgot. They're trying to get rid of all of that because they don't want you to know the truth. And they keep trying to cover up what their ancestors did in the same system that they're benefiting from. They don't want it to be equal to everybody. So they're not going to teach you the main reason why it was built that way and who it benefits and who it disenfranchises. But outside of that, yeah, I'm sorry, you can't really send us anywhere. And it's not even to like throw it in people's face. It's just like, y'all, like, this game has been going on for as long as we can remember. And unfortunately, most of us are on the latter half of the game with United States versus Black Americans. But that's why a lot of Black Americans go so hard for Black American culture, because we do have culture and it is copied all around the world. And this isn't to like say we're looking down on anybody else's culture that may be Black or anybody around the world. It's just that we have a specific culture and a lot of people come here and try and discredit it, but you're effectively enmeshing yourself in the culture that we built. Because without us, America would not be here. The United States would not be here. They used us and we still have not got our reparations. And granted, do I want 40 acres and a mule? No, I want the whole system to fall. But, I don't know. Yeah. You can't really send me back anywhere. And a lot of y'all are only over here from 1940s Ellis Island. We have been here longer than a lot of you people. Like, and it's not even to sound crazy, but a lot of y'all are only like third, fourth in generations. Like, remember, before 1776, before the birth of a nation, 1619 Project, look it up and read it. Like, I'm not getting it.
Excuse my hair. I don't give a shit today. But you know what is hilarious? I am seeing Black people talking about my baby mama's Mexican. My son is half Mexican. I stand with the Mexicans, right? And even rappers from LA are like taking the picture of that idiot standing on a car with the fucking Mexican flag. And they're like, that is dope. That's art. That's what we stand for. So y'all stand for illegal immigration. Am I hearing that right? You guys do know that they were imported here to take your fucking place, right, Black people? Right?
Are you guys aware of that? No. No. It is so funny to me. We stand with the illegal criminals. We stand with them, the murderers and the rapists, until they rape or murder one of our own, and then it's fuck them. It's like y'all are so embarrassing, but it's funny because you can tell who's stupid and who isn't. Yes, we're gonna stand for the illegals, but y'all don't stand for your own community. Y'all are pathetic. You're standing for the illegals, but not the homie that just started his own business though, huh? Y'all will not buy shit from him, but you gonna stand for the illegals. And you wonder why black people are a fucking joke. Well, not me. Not me, but y'all are.
Y'all know when Latinos and Hispanics be like black Americans are next? They really thought that black Americans are immigrants. And that explains why they voted the way they voted. They tried to get us up out of here. But I gotta say to the Latino community, not only did your ESL classes, but the American educational system failed you tremendously. Because black Americans are not immigrants and we're not going anywhere. And this is how ill-informed they are. They really think because they're in the middle between black and white that they're white adjacent, when that's far from the truth. It's only 3 categories that's broken down in this country. You have white Americans, you have non-whites, and you have black Americans. The people in the middle, y'all just extras in this movie. The main characters are the white Americans and the black Americans, and sometimes the Native Americans make a guest appearance. This country spent too much money, trillions of dollars, in painting black people as the bad guys. That's the default, to even get rid of black Americans, as sad as that may sound. And you know who's catching on quick, who's learning the game real quick? Africans and Caribbeans. That's why they're cosplaying as black Americans. They're not cosplaying as black Americans to trick us black Americans. They're doing it to trick white Americans because they don't want to be deported.
It is kind of jacked up to find out that, people around the globe thought that African Americans were immigrants. That's pretty jacked up. Like, all this time y'all thought we were immigrants? I don't understand even why people would think that, because here you have the whole Caribbean, the whole South America, and then we have North America right here. And you would think that, okay, yeah, I mean, everybody else is cool. You know what I'm saying? Jamaicans are Jamaicans, Haitians are Haitians, you know what I'm saying? Why on earth would people think that we are immigrants when we got over here before the founding of the country? Why in the world would people think that we're immigrants? African Americans, I mean. Okay? That is so weird. Like, and to see how it actually affected how they voted. I mean, this really opened up a can of worms right here. This really did open up a can of worms. It affected how they voted. It affected all the things they would say about us for a long period of time. Like, they really thought that we were the immigrants of the United States of America. So how is it that people would think we are immigrants? That makes absolutely no sense. All this time. And see now, then when I saw that Cuban lady on here talking about you know what? African Americans are the only ones who can help us. For the longest time, we have been clowning African Americans, blah, 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 and they're the only ones that can help us. They can't be deported. So, even though the video was honestly true, right? But when you say that, right? You said that out your mouth, right? That means that the only reason why you would even try to be around us at this point is to secure
Your status here? After talking all that trash? She was talking about Cubans. I'm going to specifically say she was talking about Cuban America. She was talking about Cubans. Okay. Nobody else. I don't want to put all the whole. She was talking about that because she was Cuban. She said, "I've always been with them, but you know, if you're gonna kiss anybody's butt, you're gonna have to kiss Black American butt." What? This thing is blowing my mind, really. Because the fact that, because I did a whole video about this and I was telling someone from out of the country, talking about when we come over to the country, we like to align with white people because that's where we get our success from. But I said flat out, said you do not get your success from white people. White people don't even want you here. You get your success from black people. That just went completely over a lot of people. Say just like, they're like, how in the world is that? I mean, it seems like the globe does not consider us. And then they would always say, what kind of power do you have? What kind of power do African Americans have? Do you not realize? Do you not realize that there's white people in Congress? And then guess what? Guess who's next? Guess who has the most power in Congress? Black Americans. Now I understand. Now I understand that the globe, many, probably the majority, just thought we were just over here. Just thought we were just over here. And now it makes sense why every time they look at us, right, they say they don't consider us actual founders of the country. All they do, they sit there and they say slave. When they see us, they say slave. That's what they see. That's what they see. That's what they see. Because I've actually looked at comments and been called it myself slave. So they're actually living in the 1700s still. The globe is living in the 1700s and the 1800s when they look at us. When they look at African Americans, that's what they look. So that's actually to our advantage in a lot of different ways. So while we were over here fighting for everyone's civil rights, everyone else was looking at us as that. That is so wild to me. And now that the same people they were chasing are kicking them out or saying, we're not going to kick you out. And that's another thing. They're saying, we're not going to kick you out, really, if you work in agriculture or in hospitality. They're basically saying, we'll let you stay here if you're working the jobs we need worked. That says a lot. Okay. That says a lot. Okay. And the same people that they trying to, get proximity to are kicking them out of the country, which I said that a long time ago in one of my videos. I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. What's going on? Flip, 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 flip. I don't know what's going on, but as an African American, just use it to your advantage.
Black people, what makes you think that Mexicans are going to come running to y'all for help? What for? Y'all black people can't even help yourselves.
Probably the only race that was literally pushing to save every single other demographic who is not white. And
man, I had to edit this video because I was cussing so much. I was cussing my behind off, and not because of what the Mexican dude was saying, but because of this brother. Bro, since when do we need to explain ourselves to anybody, bro? What? I mean, when we was going through our stuff, where were they? And if there was something, nobody felt the need, no Latino felt the need to explain themselves why they were not there in large numbers. They felt no pressure whatsoever to come out and explain that they are allies. But we did notice how they tried to take that B in Black Lives Matter and turn it into B Brown Lives Matter. I remember that. Think we didn't notice that. But, bruh, how many Latino people do you see protesting here? None. How many of them came on the internet explaining why they wasn't there or explaining that they're really our ally? How many? None. So why are we explaining ourselves? The only thing we need to do is go get our popcorn. That's it.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.